Is the toy collector that'll save the day? Or does Juzo ride a Rudy's Muzzy Dave? Come see those awesome toys on display. Figure Force.
Hello everyone, it's Rider here and welcome to another Figure Force video. Before I start, this is my first video in a couple of weeks. Sorry about that, I've had a lot going on, family stuff and everything like that, which I won't go into. Let me take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Smuzno, or Dave M.A.S.K, to the Figure Force crew. Dave is an amazing YouTuber and he was someone I was watching for years before I become friends with him, so that was really cool, and it's great to share a group with such talented people. I mean, Dave has got years of YouTube experience, he does podcasts, all that kind of stuff. Mr. Shotton is one of the most musically talented people I've ever met. Mr. Rudy, thank you for doing all of these wonderful logos that you're seeing on the intros. I do a bit of doodling, you might have seen the pictures on the introduction. And John basically keeps us up to date with current affairs on eBay. So why am I here today? Well, it stems back to the NAC Toy Fair where me, Rudy and Smuzno, Dave M.A.S.K, all met up for the first time since TFN. And I think it was Dave that actually said 2019 is the year of M.A.S.K. And I picked up a few M.A.S.K items that day which I'm yet to review, but I'm not going to talk about those today. I'm going to talk about another item. An item that has been in my collection since I was a child. And it is M.A.S.K, or Venom's Vampire, with Floyd Malloy here riding the bike. Now, this is my original and only M.A.S.K vehicle I had when I was a kid. And telling a little bit of a white lie there because I've recently picked up another one to salvage parts from it. And it's been a little bit of a hard decision what parts to save from the original, there goes Floyd, and what parts to sacrifice. And I made the decision to keep as much as the original as possible, even if parts are slightly damaged or worn. If they're still usable and it still works and there's not massive pieces missing, I'm going to stick with the original. And that's the decision that I've made, and I will stick by that. And sticking to that philosophy, it means I've only had to replace one part from the original figure. And that is this gun that sits right there. I'll show it you when I transform this in a moment. But this gun basically was missing a handle. I tried to make a new handle for it, but it wouldn't stick. So I made the decision just to replace that part. There is another part here which is, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little bit cracked, but it still works, and I've decided because that is a big chunk of the original vehicle, I want to try and preserve that. Floyd, who fell on the floor, he came with the vehicle that I bought recently. I'll get into the story about this now, and I'll speak about Floyd. So, there's a story that's attached to this thing, and it's a story that I can't remember. It's a story that I only know about because my dad reminded me about it a few times a couple of years ago. And basically, me and him went to Warsaw, which is a small town in the West Midlands, which you want to avoid like the plague now because it's that worn down. But it was great for toys when I was a kid. There was a Woolworths, there was all these different places. Tesco used to have a hell of a lot of toys, and there used to be a few discount shops. And I forget what the shop was called, and so does my dad, but there was this shop that basically sold furniture downstairs, but upstairs they had a little toy section. And I remember going in this shop all the while. But on this particular occasion, I had a choice. I had a choice between G1 Ultra Magnus there and this vampire. And on that particular day, I went for this, which seemed crazy to me. I never was into M.A.S.K as a kid. I can remember playing with this. I can't ever remember having Floyd at all. When I saw him first, I thought, oh God, that's cool. I really like his mask and everything like that. But I don't remember him. Absolutely don't remember him. I remember playing with the bike, but I don't remember having Floyd. And it makes me think that maybe this was discounted and it didn't come with a figure. I have got a number of M.A.S.K figures that I've found in my boxes for my mum's. I found a Mars Mayhem, a Matt Tracker. I found a Kerhoon Burns. Found one of him wearing Matt Tracker's mask from Rhino quite randomly. So I can't remember if this come with a figure or not. I can't remember if I lost that figure a long time ago. I genuinely don't remember it. I also, when I found this, I thought it was that beaten up. There was no way that I could fix it. I thought the mechanism was broken. And I almost bought another vampire when I was with Dave, Rudy and Emily back in the NAC Toy Fair. But I picked this up the other day because I decided, you know what, I'm going to salvage something from it. I'm going to buy a junker and I'm going to put it back together. And actually, when I started to fit it back together, it was pretty solid. Yeah, there's a few little stress marks here and there, but it's a pretty solid figure. So, we'll do the bike first, and then we'll have a look at Floyd. So, this is the bike. This is the part that is missing all the while. This windscreen, it does pop off really easily. You've also got some missiles inside, which I found one of them in my box of bits. Randomly was sorting out some transformer parts, thinking it was for the motorcycle T1000, because it had very similar rockets, but it wasn't. I noticed it was for this when the newer version that I bought, which is now a junker, came with a rocket as well, so I've actually got both the rockets. Now, transformation for this is really simple. You open up the wings here, fold them down, and you press this button. And there we are, we have a flying motorbike. As Rudy said, only in the 80s. You've got some missiles that fit back here, and even though they're not spring-loaded, they fire quite well just by pushing on the back. One thing I will say, and if I can show you in the light, is restoration of M.A.S.K vehicles is very, very difficult, and the reason for that, well, this particular vehicle anyway, I can't say it for all the other ones because actually Thunderhawk was okay, but this particular vehicle is a pain. There's no screws. It's a sealed unit, and trying to get this out without breaking it was a bit of a mare. You can see that I've caused a little bit of damage. There's a little bit of a gap there, which I could fill and paint, but I'm not going to bother. So it is a bit of a ball ache, really, to get into it. But I'm happy I persevered. At one point, I was just going to cut off the handle and stick the handle on the original one that was there. I'm happy I did not do that. I'm happy I've got the right one in. But yeah, it's a cool vehicle. I really, really like it. Now here is Floyd, and I think he's one of the best M.A.S.K figures I own. I really love the fact his hair sticks out the top. I mean, it's kind of the anti-motorbike headgear because, let's face it, if you're going to hit yourself on the head and fall off, you're basically a goner if that happens. But we'll let him off. It's a cartoon. His mask can come off, and he's got such an ugly mug. His nose is a little bit worn, but I'm not too bothered about that. He's also got this cool piece on the shoulder, almost Predator-like, with like a cannon or something. And these guys just have the 5 points of articulation. Oh, no, they don't, sorry. They have 7 points of articulation. They have their rotation on the head, on the arms, on the thighs, and on the knees. He's a bit of a bugger to actually fit on the bike, though. Like a lot of M.A.S.K toys, getting him in and out of the vehicles is a little bit of a pain. But he's got some lovely paint detail. He's a really cool figure, and I really, really like him. So to reset Vampire, all you do is you pull this tyre here and fold things back up, and it's back to a motorcycle. And Floyd can rest on top, reach out his arms, and there he is cruising on a red cycle 80s style. So, do I recommend you pick up a Vampire? I absolutely do. I think I know I've got a lot of M.A.S.K items now, and I really, really am enjoying spending some time with them and playing with them and collecting them. I don't want to get the full series of M.A.S.K, but I will be buying some more. I really want a Switchblade. I really want is it a Bulldoze? I think it is. And there's a few more I wouldn't mind picking up at the right price. But Vampire, despite owning a Rhino now and a Thunderhawk, I think this is my favourite M.A.S.K toy in my collection. And it is the nostalgia. It's a fact this is the only M.A.S.K toy I had when I was a kid. and now I've managed to restore it, and it's going to be pride of place on the M.A.S.K shelf. I absolutely love it. So, what type of reviews would you like to see Figure Force doing next, or even myself? I've got a few more M.A.S.K stuff, I've got some Centurions, I've got Transformers. Leave a comment below and just let me know what you want me to review, and I'll crack on and I'll start banging some reviews out. I've been Zork Rider, this has been a Figure Force review, and I hope you've enjoyed it.